today mathematicians can find common denominators by finding the LCM of the denominators. So if we have two fractions, 1/6 plus 2/3. We learned yesterday that when you add fractions, you just add the numerator straight across. And then the denominator stays the same. But there's a problem with this problem. The denominators are not the same. They're unlike. Okay? So we have unlike denominators. So we have to figure out how to find a common denominator so we can add, just like we learned yesterday. So we find common denominators by finding the LCM, or the least common multiple, of the two denominators. So all we're going to do is take the 3 and the 6 and find the least common multiple of each. So we start with 3. Let's list the multiples of 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. I would usually do about 6 of them, and if you need to go more, but just start with 6, so you're not wasting all your time finding multiples, okay? Now let's find multiples of 6. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. Let's stop there, okay? Now remember, you find least common multiple, you find when two multiples are the same, and they're the least, the smallest. So it looks like 6 and 6 is our least. Do they both have 12? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they both have 18, but which one's the least, or the smallest, okay? So 6. So we know that the least common multiple of 3 and 6 is 6. So we need to change this 3 to a 6, so that we have a common denominator of 6. So just like when we find equivalent fractions, we have to do whatever we did to the bottom, or to the denominator, that we do to the numerator. So how do I go from 3 to 6? I times it by 2. So what am I also going to do to the numerator? Times it by 2. So 2 times 2 is 4, right? Okay. So now I have two fractions that have common denominators. So I can get rid of this. It's just like we learned yesterday. It's very simple. 1/6 plus 4/6 equals 5/6. Okay? It's as simple as that. You just have to make sure that your denominators are the same. Okay? Let's try one more problem. Let's say we want to add 3/4 plus 5/9. We'll make this one a little bit more difficult. All right? It's not really that much. It's not more difficult. It's just not as easy to do in your head. So we know that we can add the numerator straight across, but we have a problem here. Our denominators are not the same, so we've got to make them common, or the same. So we have to find the least common multiple of 4 and 9. Okay? So let's list the multiples of 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. Okay, I usually say to do 6 to start, right? So let's start with 6 and we'll see if that's enough. Now let's find them of 9.
9, 18, 27, 36, 45.
All right, let's stop there. So do we have a common denominator so far?
Nope.
4 and 9, 8, 12, 16, and 18. Do you guys see how I'm doing this? I'm just checking all of them. 20, there's not a 20 down here, there's not a 27. See, do I have enough?
Oh, no.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you don't have enough. So I think 45 is pretty high. I think I need to go higher with my 4s. So let's keep going. 20, 24, 28, 32, 36. Oh, I remember saying 36 when I got to 9s. Do you remember that? Looky there. Now, that seems like a big number, but that's the smallest common multiple, right? We think least, we think small numbers, but 36 is the most common between the two. So 36 is our least common multiple. So, if you notice with this problem, it's slightly different. I have to change both of my fractions, right? Last time I only had to change one, because I already have the common denominator. This time I don't have it. So I have to change both of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split these apart a little bit so I have some room to work. Okay, so I want 36. That's what we figured out, right? All right, so how do I go from 4 to 36?
Times it by
Times it by 9. So if I times the denominator by 9, what do I also have to times by 9? The numerator. 9 times 27. Okay? How do I go from 9 to 36?
Times 4.
So what do I also have to do with the numerator?
Times by 20.
20. Whoa, this is big, isn't it? So let's go ahead and get rid of the information we don't need anymore. 27 plus 20 gives me 4736. There are two problems here. One, is it simplified? No. The second problem is what?
It's improper.
This is improper. So we've got to figure out, we have more than a whole there, right? So this is what you do. You take 47 and subtract 36 away. Because if I subtract 36, what does that give me? What is 36 over 36?
A whole.
One whole. And I need to get rid of a whole, right? Because I know I have more than 36. So I'm going to subtract 47 and 36. And that's going to tell me how many I have left over. Oh, I have 11 left over. So I know that I took out a whole, and I took away how many from this? 36. And what did I get left? 11. So I have 1 and 11/36. Okay? Now we need to check and see if it needs simplified. You should know if we practice prime numbers, what is 11? Prime. So can you simplify it? No, because will 11 go into 36? It will not. So that's as simplified as we can get it. Okay? So on some problems, you're going to get two numbers, like 3/4, that's what it was, right? And 5/9, where you have to change both the numerator and or both denominators. Or like our last problem, we had 1/6 and 2/3. I only have to change one denominator, okay? You just have to make sure you have the same number for the denominator. That's where common denominators come in. And then the adding part and the subtracting part is super easy, okay?